Hello, everyone. We are live at PRI today, and we braved the weather to get here, all of us. And we have a guest with us today that's going to share some cool stories about BILSTEIN and about his career and his life. Our guest is Ryan Beat.
Hello. Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. And we got Aaron Morey, our motorsports director here with us today as well.
Hello.
So we're going to put Ryan through the ringer and make him tell you all his cool stories, and hopefully we'll all have a good time. Since it's snowing outside, it's a lot warmer in here anyway. So where do we want to start?
I'd like to go first.
Okay.
Man, tell us who you are. Like, where'd you come from?
My name is Ryan Beat. I'm originally from San Diego, California. I grew up racing dirt bikes and raced professional motocross till the age of about 20. And, ran through the ranks of motocross, supercross, outdoor nationals, amateur motocross. And at the age of 20, I was injured pretty badly and had a family friend that just so happened to be into short course off-road racing. And while I was healing up, I had a cast on my left arm. They said, "Hey, we're doing the short course off-road racing thing in UTVs, the side-by-sides."
Oh, wow.
And they invited me out to come race. And I just asked them, I said, "Hey, man, if I win, can I make my house payment? Like, I'm not racing right now, so I need to make some money." And he laughed and said, "Yeah, you can win some money if you win, right?" So I don't think anybody at the time thought that we were going to go out and actually do very well. And we went out and won right away. The first day we got third, and the second day we won. And that's how my short course career got started. We started there, and we did a couple more races that season. The following year, we decided to build a pro light truck, which is similar to what's hanging above. A little bit smaller, a little bit less horsepower, based off of a Chevy Colorado, Toyota Tacoma sized vehicle. And so we built a truck that year and just started racing short course off-road. Kind of never looked back after that first time of being in a off-road vehicle or off-road truck, side-by-side, if you will. Never looked back. Just started focusing on off-road and had a ton of fun with it and could win some money at it and just had a lot of fun doing it.
What year was that?
That was 2010 that we had started. 2009 we had started the side-by-side, and in 2010 we did our first full season of side-by-side, and then 11 we built our first pro light.
Okay. So, like, I've seen your operation today. You got the big semi, couple semis. Like, is that how you start? Did you jump right into it?
No, definitely. When we started, it was a much humbler beginning for sure. It started with when we did the side-by-side thing. It was a family friend, and we kind of had maxed out what we could do there, and the next step was to go to pro light. And so my dad had worked for Porsche in Stuttgart, Germany for a long time, in his earlier years. And he said, "Well, hell, let's build a truck, let's figure this out." So we went down and in our two-car garage at his house, bought some tubing and a chop saw and a welder and, some hand grinders. And we had a rule book that we could go based off of a spec chassis. So it was somewhat simple to build, nothing too intricate, but you still had to do it, right? So we built our first truck with our own hands in a two-car garage, and went to the first race with a F-150 and a flatbed trailer, with one truck, no spares, one set of tires and wheels.
That's backyard racing.
And a dream. So that's how I got started. And 16 years later, later, we have, like you said, two semis, 10,000 square foot shop. Driver championships, I have 4. Owner championships, 2, so a total of 6 championships. So
right.
So we're pretty excited.
When did the BILSTEIN connection with your program
BILSTEIN
happen?
started with me in 2017. Was our first year working together. At that point, it was just a development stage when BILSTEIN was starting to get into the sport of short course off-road and starting to develop their product and running the product honestly before we even marketed it, through the trials and tribulations and making sure durability of it was up to par. And we did a whole season of development, and then in 2018 BILSTEIN became my primary partner, and we felt that we had a winning package, of all the development we put in the shocks and testing the season before. We started 2018 as BILSTEIN as our primary partner, and we went out and won that championship, and then 2019 back to back.
Wow, that's 8 years now.
Yeah, 8 years now.
Wow,
8
that's
years.
good.
with
I didn't
BILSTEIN.
realize it was 8 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's been a great ride. Obviously, being a part of the BILSTEIN family and developing products and being a part of the research and development side, and you know, making sure if it's durable enough for what's hanging above us. It definitely does its purposes, you know, for your on-road truck.
So back then you were in California, Southern California.
Back then I was in California.
When did you move to Mooresville, North Carolina? What made you move to Mooresville, North Carolina?
We decided to make the move out of California. Obviously, California is kind of a wild west place these days. But at the time, in 2020, I got picked up by Chevrolet as a driver development program / kind of running and managing the off-road program for Chevrolet. And they had mentioned that it would be a good place for me to be, you know, tons of connections, tons of relationships available there. Their research and development facility is there. So to work closer with the engineers and be closer part of Chevy and kind of be more part of the family, they suggested I move there. Well, it just so happened my primary partner has a location there too, right? Your guys' location is more based around circle track and late model racing, you know, so to move there, it made a lot of sense for me as my primary partner was there. We had Chevrolet there. At the time, I was on General Tire. General Tire has a location in South Carolina. A lot of our partners were there, and we wanted a better place to raise our family, so we decided to make the move to North Carolina and set up shop there, and have loved it ever since. You know, doesn't quite have the Mexican food, but we enjoy it.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, and it's a little colder.
Yeah, a little bit
days.
colder. That curveball came quick at us, but we figured it out and have grown to love it and enjoy it, and you know, we get to be close with you guys, right? I get to be a part of the BILSTEIN late model program, and as I get more involved with BILSTEIN, you know, aside from just racing my off-road truck for them, I get to learn about the late model program and some of your pavement and asphalt stuff, and you know, a lot of this stuff that, you know, there's a lot of technology that cross translates, I guess, between the different forms of motorsports, and to be in the hub of racing. If you want to be successful in racing, I almost feel like you really have to be in that Mooresville, you know, North Carolina area. You know, there's so many brands there and so much development and engineering that goes on there. A lot of the information technology gets spread throughout that area, and I think that's where BILSTEIN has kind of, you know, had such a leg up advantage on the competition of technology, is being in that area and to being able to develop through so many different forms of motorsports, whether it be late model or for circle track pavement racing or the off-road stuff. It's been really cool to be there and to learn multiple facets of racing, you know, with where BILSTEIN's at.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. When you get to Mooresville, I mean, the how quickly the technology changes is just incredible. We got to react so quick.
Really,
you know?
cool that the technology sharing between the off-road racing and the dirt track stuff. It seems like that they're feeding off of each other, almost learning from each other. And
well, I mean, our focus is grip when you have no grip,
yeah,
right?
And
Like
it's
we don't.
the same for the truck.
We don't focus on jumps. Well, sometimes we do when the track gets rough enough, but but no. At the end of the day, whoever has the most grip down the straightaways is going to have an advantage, right? So
exactly, and we struggle with that in the trucks, right? Like, you guys got just as much horsepower as we do with the late model stuff, but you know, we're trying to go across bumps while we're doing it, so grip is a main focus of, you know, our program. So any bit of information that we can learn, you know, from what they do in your guys' world, the circle track world, that we have applied a lot of that to, you know, valving bases and piston design, stuff like that has really excelled my program to be at the point where we're at, where we're battling for championships and winning championships every year within our Ryan Beat Motorsports.
So, Mike, my next question is going to be family.
What's
his family.
Okay.
So I remember when you moved, your daughter was so little, and you came to Mooresville to visit, and you had to come back.
Yep.
You remember that? Because she left a little race car.
Her little race car.
You had to turn back around and get it.
Had to turn back around.
Seeing her grow up, seeing the youngest one riding a go-kart with a leash on the back of it, so you could pull her back.
Yeah.
But seeing
Handbrake.
all that, but now I see the one with the identical fire suit as Dad.
Yeah.
You know, with Drink Weird.
BILSTEIN.
I mean, how cool is that? That's got to be the coolest
Man, it's so cool. I never thought, like, I have 2 daughters, and I never thought that I would have my daughters racing and being involved in motorsports like they are. I thought they'd be girly girls, and I don't know if it's a cursing or a bless, but they love racing. So now my oldest is racing, and my youngest is wanting to race. So my oldest, she's 9. She did her first full season of short course off-road. They have, like, basically these go-kart size off-road trucks that they call short course carts that she got to race in this year and had a blast and is just loving it. You know, racing is such a family sport, right, and such a family deal that they go to all the races. So if they're there, they want to race too. They've seen Dad do it their whole life. So now that they're there racing and my youngest daughter's getting ready to do her first season in the class as well. So we'll have two daughters out there racing this season. But it's been fun. It's a lot of fun. They're super excited about it, and that's the first thing they say. They want their cars to look just like Dad's. They want the BILSTEIN on it, and they want the Drink Weird and the Toyo, and it's got to look just like Dad's.
So the shocks on that little truck she's driving, it looks like it would be the same thing we could build there out of Mooresville.
Yep. So and that's something that we need to work on, because there's a class of about 30 of these little trucks.
Are you serious? Wow.
That we're desperately needing shock packages for, and it's something that I know we've had a little bit of the conversation on, but now that we're in off season and we've all kind of slowed down, it's I plan on bringing you some shocks.
Let's do it.
The lengths and diameters are exactly what you guys basically run on the dirt late model, from what I know. From the experience that I've had with it. So I think it'd be easy transition, easy parlay into you guys being able to build shocks for the up and coming generation, the youth.
Yeah, are you going to build trucks?
Sorry, do girls compete against each other? Or?
They will this year. They
how much fun you can have with that?
Well, see, the youngest is the crazy one. That's the one I'm worried about. The oldest, she's kind of mellow and chill and cool and has a good time, and she don't care. I mean, she can come off the track, win or lose, and that's all she talks about is how much fun she had. Right. But the youngest one, she just wants to beat older sister.
Fierce.
We have a small track at our house that they go and play in, and they drive their trucks now, and the youngest one just wants to run into the older one. So hopefully I'm not tearing up too much stuff and repairing bodies and parts, but we'll get them straightened out and go have some fun with them.
I hope you are. I hope you are. Keep it on your social for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be fun to watch for sure, because they're competitive for sure.
Awesome.
Well, man, is there anything for 2026 that you can talk about? I know is everything still kind of in talks, but it sounds like you got some really cool stuff maybe happening.
Yeah, so there's some really cool stuff happening. We're going to have more guest drivers and more celebrity appearances within our team and our trucks this season. So, can't really share too much of it. It's been agreed upon, but hasn't. The ink hasn't dried yet, I guess you could say. So we're going to kind of keep some of those deals under our hat, but we'll definitely have some more guest appearances and some more celebrity drivers within our camp. At more races this year than we did last year. Last year we had 2. We had Deegan at Crandon, and we had Ken Roxon at Glen Helen. We're going to expand upon that. Looks like it's probably going to be 5 to 6 weekends where we'll have different drivers within our camp out there having fun and introducing them to short course off-road. That's kind of the main goal, is to, get short course off-road more known, right? And to introduce it to new fan bases and new fans, just like we're doing here. At PRI, it's not typically an off-road show, so it's cool to have a truck here on display and be showcasing and be representing off-road and short course off-road in our sport. So, the goal is to keep growing Champ Off-Road, right? They made an expansion this year into the West Coast market, in which Glen Helen was a killer event. It popped off, and there was a ton of fans, ton of fan base there. New fans, a lot of people came in to see Ken Roxon come race an off-road truck. So I know we captured a pretty large new fan base,
Absolutely.
with having him there. So
I guess the pits were crazy.
Yeah, our pit was crazy. I think that, with Ken being there, it was, 10 people deep, all weekend long along the whole front of our banner rail, which our semi's, 80 feet long, and the awning runs the whole stretch of it. So,
and you said he was hooked too.
Yeah, he was hooked. He's stoked. I can say he will be one of the ones that'll come back and race next year.
Good.
Wyatt
Miller, is he coming back?
Wyatt Miller will be back again. Wyatt Miller will race another year of Pro Spec, and while he is racing Pro Spec, we're going to start developing him in the Pro 2 and getting him seat time in the Pro 2. So he'll be testing and getting ready to go to Pro 2 in 27. We'll keep jamming away and keep working at it, right? The goal is to keep building it and growing it. Wyatt Miller, obviously having Wyatt there, it brings in a whole another demographic of fan base. It brings in Junior Nation, right? And brings in the junior motorsports side of things. So, to have Wyatt love short course off-road and love what we're doing with our program, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes about the sport and where it's at, and he loves it. When he first got in the truck, he was really scared of it hurting his back. He thought that jumping would be hard on him, and the first time he jumped it and the truck just soaked it up, he was like, holy moly, it's like landing on a pillow. You never guessed it. Like, he comes from late models and micro sprints and sprint cars, so they don't have a whole lot of travel. And you typically don't like to jump those cars. So the first time he jumped the off-road truck, he was really excited about what he could do with it, So he'll be back. He'll be running Pro Spec. If we can get him in the last couple races of Pro 2, that's the plan, is we'll let him run a couple races at the end of the season. And then, while we're doing that, we're going to be working on a Pro 4 package. Not sure how much we'll get to run it this season, but we're working on it. So,
man, the last question I have for you, out of all the vehicles you got, how many of them have BILSTEIN and how many of them don't?
Every single one of my vehicles has BILSTEIN. I wouldn't... The ride is unmatched, right? When you put BILSTEINs on a vehicle, I have it on my dually, I have it on my wife's Escalade, I have it on my semi, my personal 1500 truck has them on it. We literally have put BILSTEINs on all of our vehicles. The first time I ever did was 8 years ago. We put a set of BILSTEINs on my wife's daily driver, her Mercedes at the time, and it changed the ride drastically.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like night and day difference. Just the technology and how much better the car handled and how much smoother it rode, right? Like you drive down the road, you want the ride to be smooth and be comfortable. So, it's been a must since day one of us, making sure that all of our vehicles equipped with BILSTEIN. All of my crew guys, from their Ford Rangers to their Jeeps to all the vehicles that all my crew has, are all equipped with BILSTEIN now too.
That's
because
pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not just it's a sponsorship deal or a partnership in that sense. It's really a way of life and improving the ride quality of everybody's vehicles within our program of just making a ride more enjoyable.
That's good.
So, yeah. So we enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the vastness of the range, I think a lot of people don't realize that, we don't just make race car shocks.
Yeah.
We do, and we make some of the best there are.
Yeah.
But, that tow vehicle or the wife's car or whatever, BILSTEIN does have a product for that.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest vehicle that we noticed the biggest difference on the shocks was the dually, right? Like we hooked a 40-foot Intech gooseneck trailer to it, and driving down the road, before it was like driving a lumber truck. Like it'd bounce your teeth out of your head just driving down the road. So once we put the BILSTEINs on it changed it night and day. It now rides like a Cadillac, whether we're towing or not, because you unhook the trailer, it rides a lot different, right? So usually a lot stiffer, but we unhook the trailer and it rides like a Cadillac. We hook up trailer, it still rides like a Cadillac. So, it's been such a eye-opening experience, I'll put it, changing just our daily driver shocks to a BILSTEIN versus a OE shock. It's night and day difference.
So winning on Sundays, selling Mondays, does it still
exactly.
work?
Yep.
In my book, yeah. Being a part of that, I think that's still the deal is win on Sunday, sell on Monday, because, in our world, that's what drives me to go buy products, day in and day out, So I think the majority of the crowd here probably agrees with that. They see something winning, they're going to want to get their hands on and be a piece of, part of it too.
Yeah, I want some drink weird.
I got you. It's a healthier option for, energy instead of energy drinks.
Yeah, I've got some. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good, and it's good. Cool having them on board, right? Like, this day and age, we're all trying to be healthier as we get older and extend our lifespan, and drinking drinks full of sugar is probably not always the best. So
that's right.
Change it up to a healthy sponsor.
Well, man, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I got one more question. I think people here need to hear about your most challenging race, the race itself, and the track. So if you had to choose a race that was the most difficult and the track that was the most difficult, now those both line up, or is one track worse than the other, or was there one area or one race that was really, really stands out in your mind as being a tough one? I
don't really have a race that stands out in my mind of being like really tough where I'm just like, God, you know what I mean? Like there's obviously frustrating races where, but I would say the track that probably stands out the most to me in my head is Crandon. Crandon is known for, it's got massive jumps. I mean, jumps that are 20 foot tall, but there's no landing, right? Like typically in motocross or off-road trucks, they build jumps and you have a downside, right?
Right.
Where at Crandon, it's just a launch. Like it's just a launch to flat. So to catch a 4,300 pound truck, you know, going 80 miles an hour, I mean, like with the height you see the truck off the ground is typically where they're at during the race.
That's what I was going to say. Is we hung it about the height that it goes in the air.
The jumps, you know, the jumps are probably, you know, somewhere in the 10 to 16 foot tall. So to be that far off the ground and then come down from that height to a flat landing with no downside is pretty brutal, right? Like it hurts. So if you don't have your shocks set up right and you don't have the right shocks on the vehicle, that's when you start realizing like how brutal it is. So Crandon is by far the most brutal track for that, right? And it definitely pushes the limits of shocks and the technology within the shocks. So obviously I have no back issues, and really enjoy, you know, being able to jump the truck like I can. When we go to Crandon, you know, everybody's trying to tune their shocks and trying to adjust their truck so that they can jump harder. You know what I mean? There's not one time have I ever gone there and been like, oh, I need to check up off a jump. Like I can full send it, no, not scared, not worried about landing hard or, you know, hurting myself. I can go there and just push as hard as I want, and the shocks take it and absorb it, and we don't break nothing or myself.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I'd say Crandon's probably the gnarliest track. The track that tests the shocks. You know, we went to Glen Helen at the last race of the year. It was really rough, but the jumps weren't very big. You know what I mean? They all had downsides. You know, real rough is in like
landing
corner rough.
Ramp. Yeah.
Yeah, but like as far as a ouch factor, Crandon's by far the worst track for that, and we don't ever have an issue.
I've noticed that about watching the footage at Crandon where there's no landing pad or ramp on the backside of the jump. It's just hit hard flat on the ground.
Flat. So, you know, that's where that shock technology and development has really come into play over the years to get our trucks to be able to do that. And then, you know, like when we went from Crandon to Glen Helen, you know, Glen Helen was, you know, top speed at Crandon's 106 miles an hour. At Glen Helen, the top speed was probably 46 miles an hour.
Yeah,
like it's
shorter, rougher course. Yeah,
and we literally didn't do any shock setup change. Like we ran the same setup there because it's such a variety. You know, with our shock program with BILSTEIN, we've been able to develop it to where, you know, it can be high speed, low speed, you know, shaft movements, but it still works the same, right? And it's still so progressive and it feels so good that. I mean, we didn't make any changes. We went there with the same setup and ran and ran right up front, battled for wins the whole weekend, just like we did at Crandon.
That's amazing.
So when the truck's that high off the ground right there, what do you see? I mean, do you see sky? Do you see the racetrack? Or
some people set their trucks up to jump nose high, so they're just staring at sky. I can't stand that because I don't know where I'm going. So I always like to set my truck up to where it jumps nose down, which some people don't like to do because then you run the risk of dragging the front bumper and flipping. But it's just that fine-tuned balance. But I mean, when you jump that high, you're just like you're spotting your landing as if you're a pilot. You know what I mean? You're coming in for your landing, you're spotting your landing, and you're trying to figure out where you navigate from that point on. So yeah, it's fun. Jumping obviously is the fun. For me, the most fun part. My daughters say it too, that their favorite part's jumping. So I mean, you know, you got to have good shocks to be able to jump.
Right. Yeah, that would just. I mean, it didn't dawn on me that that's the height that you typically would be coming off of a jump. But then when I'm sitting there looking at the truck and then camera footage from the racetracks, I'm like, that is about the height that you would be at.
Yeah. No,
when
it's
you're
typically
in the
about
air.
that high. When we're in the air, so it's crazy. But I mean, you figure, you know, it's a 4,300 pound vehicle coming down. The only thing that stops that vehicle from going down and hitting the dirt is the suspension, right? That's the one thing that connects it. So, you know, it's in our world, it's pivotal to have good suspension. Right, and the Pro 2 is a two-wheel drive version, and the Pro 4 is a four-wheel drive version. So two-wheel drive is the Pro 2 is a two-wheel drive, 17 to 20 inches of wheel travel, depending on what you want to send. We set our trucks up with 17 inches of travel. We don't use all of it because we don't need to. Our shocks are so good. We don't need the truck that far up in the air. We try to keep the ride height pretty low. Pro 4, same thing, but you know, Pro 2 has a spec chassis, basically with pivot points. Pro 4 is unlimited. Whatever you can dream up is what you can build. Pro 2 is 700 to 750 horsepower, where Pro 4 is more like 1,000 horsepower. You said you guys are working on a Pro 4 setup? Yes, sir. Yep, working on a Pro 4 now. So. All right, and who's going to have the privilege of driving that, or multiple drivers? It's me, sorry. That's going to be your baby, huh? Yep, that's my baby, so. Yep, so we're pretty excited about it and look forward to getting testing here pretty soon. We should have the truck done right about February-ish, so we'll be ready to test about then.
When the track thaws out?
Yeah, I got it. We'll probably go into the West Coast to test because it'll be too cold everywhere else.
Yeah. Anything else cool planned on the schedule that you can share with us as far as anything that we didn't cover already? Or
yeah,
we just...
I mean, obviously next year we kind of got the similar schedule that we had in the past couple of years, but this year, the difference between this year and last year is we have 3 weeks in between every race, which makes it much easier for the teams and crews to prepare their trucks and get them ready for the next race. Obviously when returning back to Glen Helen last year was a huge win for us. It sounds like in 27 we'll be returning to the West Coast more, maybe 2 more events out there. Not sure which track, or can't really say a whole lot yet, but sounds like we'll be on the West Coast 2 more times in 27. So we're excited about it, excited to kick off this next year. We race for a championship in all the classes we compete in. That's one thing I can say that I'm very proud of, is our effort with BILSTEIN to make sure every truck that we field is battling for a championship, and that's what we did this year. Wyatt won a championship in Pro Spec. I was just out of the championship, only by like 15 points in Pro 2. And we had another female driver by the name of Gray Ledbetter who battled for 3rd in championship in her first year in Pro Light. So we're excited to kick it off and get it back going. We were right there last year. We've done a lot of homework so far this year. Plan on putting in some more test time and developing and working with you guys to just try to find that inch, that little bit of speed that we want to find.
One advantage.
Try to make it win. I think Wyatt won 8 races this year. I won 5. So we got a good package, and we're going to keep rolling forward.
Now, there was some talk at dinner last night about you driving a dirt late model and a dirt late model driver driving your truck. Is this going to happen?
I would love to make it happen. I've been wanting to get in a dirt late model for a while now. Ever since I moved to North Carolina and started learning about the late models and how their rear suspension works and how they turn, and a lot of cool technology there that I definitely want to get in one and try, and more than willing to let somebody come run the off-road truck.
That sounds good. We have to try to put that together. I think Aaron needs to set that up.
Yeah, I think we're going to have Austin Kirkpatrick on here a little bit later, and we might just get the verbal contract.
Yeah, make that happen right away.
Get the deal done.
As it gives us a little nod. So, yeah, I think we'll make it happen. I think we need to do something where you drive the car and you jump the car over the truck.
Jump the car over the truck?
Yeah, I think we need to figure out how to do that.
I thought we had that set up the other way.
It'd be more damage this way. So,
yep, I'm game for whatever. Let's do it. As long as it's got BILSTEINs on it, we'll be all right.
Yeah,
It'll
live.
Cool.
Well, that's all I got, Aaron. You got anything else you want to chat about?
Man, I appreciate the friendship, appreciate the partnership. Love seeing the family. We live in the same town now. I see your dad at Tractor Supply, and
yeah.
It's I love it, man. I'm a family guy too, and just see you and your family doing it, man. That's what this sport's all about, and I'm very grateful that you're a BILSTEINer.
Yeah, no, likewise. We appreciate your guys' support, and you guys all become like family, right? And that's what it's been about. It's been, like you said, a long time coming, and looking forward to many more with you guys, and continuing to do what we do, right? Like we win, we have fun with our families, and we all have a good time. So excited for the future, and look forward to doing more.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the family thing, because I think that we feel that way about all of our sponsored racers, that it is really just a big BILSTEIN family, and we really appreciate all the effort and energy that you've put in to the relationship with BILSTEIN, and just really happy to have you. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Likewise, we couldn't do it without you guys, so we're excited and look forward to marching on, continuing it.
All right.
Have a good show, buddy.
We'll let you get out and see things.
Thank you. Appreciate it.